Hello everyone, this is MetalBeard's Heavy Metal Motor Trike from the LEGO Movie 2. For its size, this was fairly quick and easy to put together, with a large portion of its length and kind of visual bulk being made with a very small number of pieces for the entire front. But that doesn't really take anything away from it. It does not feel hollow or empty. The big story with the Trike is that the entire vehicle is really MetalBeard himself. He has built this out of himself or around himself, and he is a part of it. This is not MetalBeard riding on a heavy metal motor trike. This is MetalBeard as heavy metal motor trike. So really the core of MetalBeard himself is the head with the MetalBeard, and then the trunk here, which has some of his original organic parts within it. But this is now his torso up here. It's able to actually rotate around. That's kind of cool. It's very different. These are his arms. On this side is a shark shooter, which is set up to actually project one of these sharks out. They only give you one in there as ammunition, but you put this in. It has a little bit of a way to hold it in place, and then you just push this trigger mechanism from the back, and out it goes. It's very simple, but it actually works surprisingly well. I thought it was going to be kind of lame, but it's not. And the shark has a little special print with an eye patch on it. The other arm of this version of MetalBeard has a pair of cannons, presumably from his old ship that have been salvaged. And these are the existing ones that have been around for quite a long time. They may have updated the mold ever so slightly at some point, but they're basically the classic ones that actually shoot. So you pull back here, and out shoots a cylinder piece. Is what they're designed to primarily fire, and they give you 4 of those in total. I've got 2 of them loaded in there right now. You can twist or turn them independently, or you can move them together on the arm, which has a ball joint back there, so you can angle all sorts of different directions. You can actually get pretty respectable play out of both of these shooting functions because they're reliable and they have pretty good distance, and you can actually plan your shots a bit. Got a crow's nest back here, also a ship element. I just went ahead and put the other couple of shots in there because why not? Seemed pretty appropriate. I personally like what this looks like around the back, especially with the piping done for exhaust here. You can actually change the angles of these a bit, but you've got some gunmetal gray elements in there. And, you know, small details, like this didn't need to be there, but it's nice that it is there rather than just putting a single plate over that or even leaving it completely exposed. You have a little winder over here as well. You know, I think it looks pretty consistently good from all angles if you do like the look of this in general. And again, the ability to actually turn the torso from side to side is pretty cool. Let me see if I can get that to turn all the way. Yeah, you can kind of get the arms out of the way. It gets a little bit stuck on the engine, but you can bring them up high enough. But you can see a lot of small details were added in different colors to make sure this didn't look like just, you know, a large mass that was built from the minimum number of pieces. Incidentally, this right here is a wheelie bar, a single wheel on it. So that's able to come down like this, which allows you to actually leave this posed like so, which is very good. It's one of the reasons that these exhaust pipes angle up so much, to give them clearance. And that's a cool look in and of itself, just as something to leave it, you know, on display. And again, looking at the not so camera friendly angles, it's not so bad here. A couple of bits of blue are awkward, but I mean, you know, the fact that this is actually smooth under here and you've got some additional texture, again, that really wasn't necessary. I like that. You know, it's better than just leaving anti-studs exposed. So this is a pretty well-rounded build. And as you look around the top, closer in to basically the waist area, again, lots of small details, lots of small textures that were unnecessary. You've got actually a drive shaft approximated there. Nice to see. And this engine is very good. I'm assuming that these are supposed to represent exhausts up here, so I don't know why it needs exhaust on the side as well. But I like all the gunmetal gray that's in there, with the first appearance of gunmetal gray in ingots this year, and also the gunmetal gray color for the induction scoop up there, kind of the top of a You can see it as a top of a supercharger if you want, but I don't know if it's supposed to represent forced induction here, but whatever it is, it looks cool. And also those little sleeves, accidentally move that down, but the short sleeves that are used for Technic pins to be able to go through, or axles. Yeah, this doesn't do anything. There are a couple gears that you may see back there. Those don't do anything, but again, it's just for the sake of texture. And up towards the front, this does feel very flimsy right here, unfortunately, because, well, there's not a whole lot of stuff here that's really, trying to keep this from moving around. It's not very well braced, but it rolls just fine. I think it might even add a little bit to the character of the thing. You don't expect this to drive like a supercar. You expect it to drive like a hot rod, a cheaply done hot rod at that. But yeah, pretty good stuff. Nothing too incredible in terms of the build, how it went together. The most interesting thing to me is how they actually attached the front fork. But even that is, not all that much. It's mostly just the use of this one Technic. Do you call that a beam? I don't know the proper term for that when you don't connect at the same angle. A little adapter. But all in all, fun build. Definitely not something that's for everyone. The style is intentionally junky. Not everyone will like that. Set includes this new Apocalypse Borg version of Benny, complete with one mechanical arm. It'll be interesting to see how that comes into play. And he's got a welding pack on with a unique print over there on the side that's able to just freely spin around, so there isn't really a specific place where you can keep that, but it's supposed to be like so. But good luck keeping it in that orientation. Yeah, a pretty good looking thing, and he also comes with a new unique printed face shield. It's the first time to see an actual visor on him. Doesn't fit all that well because it wasn't really designed. The standard style, modern standard style and shape of visors weren't intended to go with the classic style helmets, but it does the trick, and I appreciate the fact that it has a print on it. Here's Benny's main face, very, very happy, very appropriate to him. Here's his alternate, very, very sad. That's a very useful face because to me, the crying is just so extreme. It's like a comic strip or cartoon version of a baby from many decades ago. It's really, really distilled down to extreme sorrow. Set also comes with a Sweet Mayhem, who looks consistent from set to set, because she is consistent from set to set with one exception that I'll show you in just a second. But said it before, I'll say it again. It's a very nice looking figure, simple blaster with a few pieces, works well. These wings look great, and you can adjust the angles of them so you can retract them down like so. And she has one of those heart tiles, which is brand new and will fit onto a stud. And the thing that is unique to this set, I believe it's unique, I didn't actually look carefully enough through the entire line, but her face is very angry, or at least very annoyed, I'd say, is what that looks like to me. Of course, it's a mini doll, so you don't get an alternate face, but that's just that. And they do give you a couple of small assemblies to add to her feet to represent power blasts to rocket her around, and those have a little bit of glitter in them. And they once again include hair for her, which is great because I want anyone who wants this hairpiece to be able to get this hairpiece without having to purchase a very specific set. If they had made this exclusive to one set, that would have been really mean, because it's a really nice piece with a unique new style, a new type of treatment on it, with the iridescent, highly iridescent spray that went on it with a gloss coat over the top of it. Very cool stuff, and has a mini peg hole on the top, so if you want to add a bow or something, or maybe sunglasses or something or a crown from Friends or Disney Princess dolls, mini dolls, you can add that as well. Set also comes with one star with the printed 2x2 tile there, and if you want, you can take that tile off and just use this as a platformer, as a glider, as they say, for Sweet Mayhem. So rather than flying around on her thrusters, So you can just stand there. It's just a suggestion for an option. Here are the parts that were left over from the build, and it's quite an impressive selection, including some pretty special pieces like that print from the side of Benny's welding tank. Also an extra one of his visor. You get one of these in white. This is a hollow stud here. This is also a hollow stud, the Translite blue one. These, two of these Technic sleeve pieces in gunmetal gray. I don't think you're supposed to get an extra hole blaster. If you do happen to get this set, if you've gotten this set, let me know, or let other viewers know down in the comments if you've got an extra one of these as well. That's an uncommon color for that. Extra one of these hearts. I mean, just a very generous selection of very useful and interesting extra pieces. Of course, the build for this set is already live on my build channel, so if you want to check that out, I've got a link in the pinned comment, in the card over on the right-hand side of the video, and also at the end of the video, which is the easiest place to get to it. Be sure to subscribe to my new channel if you want to see more builds in this style as soon as they come out. All in all, I have to say this set is cooler than I originally thought it was going to be. I really appreciate the level of detail that went into its build, and like I said, it really went together more quickly than I expected. I thought I was going to get a little bit annoyed putting in some of the small bits to create something that didn't feel like all that much once it was done, but no, it felt very proper, if not even a little bit on the easy and generous side. One thing that's not generous though is the value here. I have to say, the price in the US is $60 for 461 pieces. The price to part ratio is kind of at the upper end of what can be okay, but the price to volume of stuff ratio here doesn't feel all that great. This is nice right here, and with the amount of care that goes into it, the number of pieces and everything, the nice pieces, it feels like about $40 tops. Gosh, the more I look at it, the tougher that is for me to come to terms with. Even seeing $40 on the real thing, on the actual thing that's here. So I'm thinking, a nice truck is like $20. Do I see $40? I'll give it $40. I'll be generous, including the figures. The figures are good. You don't actually get a MetalBeard figure, but they're good. This cost extra, or is valued a little extra, I realize. The tire and wheel, they're extra big, have extra value and everything, but definitely not worth $60 at this whole thing. No way. Not a chance. So I would strongly recommend that no one pay $60 for this in the US. Definitely wait for it to come down. 50 is even a stretch. Maybe if you can see it for 50 and you want it now, that makes sense. Otherwise, I would much prefer to see this come down to like a $45 range, not on the basis of price to part, just based on the basis of what all you get here and how much value I see relative to other things that seem like they're priced reasonably, and kind of what I expect from Lego even today. So a little bit of a mixed bag there, but those are my thoughts, and you have seen the thing. Hope that I showed you everything that you want to see here to help you to come to your own, form your own opinions and come to your own conclusions about its value. If you have anything else that you would like to share about this that I didn't cover, please feel free to let your thoughts be known down in the comments. I'll talk to you again soon.